feel like Brennan is giving you the same respect that you give to him. And I didn't want to tell you this. At the same time, I had to be realistic about what's going on and let you know what's happening. I've heard through the grapevine that he had wanted to go on a double date with Cameron.
I don't buy Claire being, the worried person and worried about Emily's best interest and coming with this gossip about Brennan. I'm not buying it. I feel like it was sort of like her payback in regards. Emily was the one who asked the question when Cameron said he wanted a divorce, and it seems like Claire has been waiting for a moment to pull the rug under Emily's, and this was her opportunity. I really love the relationship between Becca and Emily. I feel if anyone should have told Emily what was going on, it should have been Becca. But anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. It's Valerie. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 19. I'm so confused. Why do we still need to see Claire? Claire and Cameron spoke weeks ago in front of everyone, and she said she wanted a separation. He said he wanted a divorce, and that was the end of it. So why do we get to continue to see her and have her talk about, oh, I've been communicating with Cameron. He's been checking up on me. He's been worrying about me. And it's like, we don't need to hear it, please. We really don't. We've moved on. As far as we're concerned, you're a no, he's a no, and that's it. And let's move on. Let's go on to the next couple. And then you have her sort of having this conversation with Emily. I like how positive Emily is. I like how, she has high hopes for her marriage, or whether she's being encouraged to say that. But this man, once they came back from the honeymoon, has been a totally different man. And he hasn't done anything or shown in any way that is interested in having his relationship progress any further than it is. He's always talked about trust. He's always talked about somebody being loyal. He's gone from being the man that said, I do not believe in divorce, there's no room for divorce, to suddenly he's just there, someone who's just existing with Emily. And so I didn't even understand the reason behind that conversation and the purpose of it, because none of those girls are in a loving relationship that we could say, there is hope that this marriage will be successful. So I don't know why the producers felt the need to even waste our time with that. And then you have, Becca and Austin. That's a waste of time as well. That's a waste of time, because I don't know how far we can continue to go with this intimacy thing. Yes, she spoke about the fact that, when they're on camera, he seems very emotional, very caring. And then once they're off camera, he's a totally different beast. And it's like, I don't think he likes her romantically. I think he was put off by the fact that she comes with so many medical conditions. And the fact that she was either or about children, I think is the other reason why. But he's decided to sort of play this character until decision day, and then get to decision day and say no. That's the impression that I get, because nothing he's done makes sense. And for him to say to her, you need to wash your hands before you touch my coat. Yeah, she's right to feel some type of way. She had wiped her hands. It's not like she hadn't even made any attempt, and her hands had clay on them. I somehow feel like people, when they go on Married at First Sight, are into performance and into portraying a particular character. And so when they go off script with their partner, you can see that they're not happy. Because when Becca was saying, when we're off camera, you do this, you could see the way he was looking at her, sort of like, why are you bringing this up? We agreed that we wouldn't say anything. And it's like, oh my God, we want authentic people. Go back to the drawing board, please. Or maybe go to Love is Blind and take some people who really wanted to get married and couldn't find someone, and get the experts to match them. So Michael and Chloe meet up with Dr. Pierre, and I didn't like the little shots that they added. That was inappropriate. That was really inappropriate. That was very invasive. And it wasn't necessary for them to show us, Michael and Chloe playing with each other's beds. They could have just had a conversation. Yes, maybe Michael and Chloe didn't know that the cameras were in the room, or maybe they were just too relaxed and they didn't think that the producers would show it. Them sort of blurring a line and still keeping their faces doesn't make sense to me. It's very inappropriate and very disrespectful, as far as I'm concerned, towards their participants in the experiment. They should have got their consent, and I hope they consented to images of themselves doing that being shown to the world to see. They seem really comfortable, which I like. They seem to be enjoying each other's company. I think the boxing helps. I think after the boxing lesson, this is when the hands a bit must have taken place. They're open to continuing to grow their connection, which I give them credit for. I really do. And I hope Chloe notices that this man is really trying his best. She could have done worse. She could have been saddled with Brennan or Austin, and it could have been way worse with Orion. So I hope she appreciates this man and the effort that he's putting in. So you have Emily and Brennan go out for dinner, and they're sitting down having a conversation. They're trying to understand where they are, where they stand, and are they going to make any progress forward? Because their relationship the pace has been dictated by Brennan. He is the one who has wanted resets. He is the one who has wanted personal space. He is the one who's wanted his boundaries respected. And Emily has bent and contorted herself in order to fit into what he wanted. And for him to have the audacity to say that you are the very negative, you're the least positive person I know. And it's like, I've watched Emily a couple of hours on TV, and I can say, and I think I've said this in my reviews, that she's the most positive person I know. She's very, upbeat about stuff. She's always happy-go-lucky, irregardless of what's going on. Even after her accident, she kept smiling. So for him to say that, she is right to say that shows you don't know who I am as a person, because this is the one thing that everybody always commends me for. Even the producer said her jaw dropped to the floor because she couldn't understand who he was describing. I think he's looking for hurtful ways to hurt her. That way she can say no on decision day. I think when he came into the experiment and he heard that she was a party girl, I think he expected a situation with Chris and I'm a very nice person. And so for him to suddenly find that the person he's with is actually a very nice person who doesn't need to say she's a very nice person, and she's actually willing to put in the work to have this marriage. I think this is why he's now looking for hurtful things, and he's been looking for excuse after excuse after excuse, hoping she would say, okay, I'm done, I'm going home. And because she hasn't done that and she's kept fighting, he now has to find an excuse as to justify why he's been a jackass and why he's behaved the way he's behaved all along. And I am so furious on behalf of Emily. I'm so furious. And when she cornered him and he didn't have an answer, then he started, that man is an idiot. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. I swear to God. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. These people are more interested in a performance. I think they've seen the backlash that previous participants have faced, and so everybody's trying to look good on camera. Nobody's being authentic. You don't get, Shanice crying and, Jeff did this, that, and that. No, you get people bringing their best self, or what they consider to be their best self, or sort of being in control of how they want their story told. And it's like, well, if that's what you wanted, you should have stayed your butt at home. You should have stayed your butt at home. You shouldn't have come to give a D class, as according to Michael from Love is Blind, performance, because it wasn't necessary. So you have Becca and Austin having this back and forth because Austin feels some type of way about the fact that Becca has spoken about him negatively on camera. And it's like, oh my God. So you are justifying what she said, that when you're on camera, you do sort of try and be emotional, you try and explore very deep conversations, and once the cameras pack up and go, then you're back to yourself. And so for him to sit there, that conversation must have been long because he changed position countless times. It must have been a long conversation, and we just got to hear the snippets of it, which the gist was he's not happy that Becca spoke negatively about him on camera. He is worried about how millions of people are going to see him and how that's going to come across. And it's like, did you come to sort of sell yourself, or did you come to look for a wife? If you came to sell yourself, maybe this is not the right place. Maybe go to something like Survivor or Big Brother. You don't need to come to Married at First Sight. There are plenty of other reality shows you can go to. The Challenge. There's so many shows you could participate in without marrying someone and dragging them through the mud and sort of having them almost have a breakdown just because you want to be portrayed a certain way. Go and compete on other shows that are more in line with that. Go to The Amazing Race, they're looking for people, and stop wasting people's time sort of pretending to want to be married to someone. At first, I felt like he was worried about her medical history and wanted to investigate, and sort of this is why he was a bit standoffish. But now it comes across as though he never liked her. It's one of two things. He never liked her, or he read about her medical history, saw the challenges that came with it, and got to experience her having one of her worst sort of days or one of her flare-ups, and decided this is not for me. And so he's decided to play good guy until decision day, and then he'll say no. That's the impression that I get. Anyway, apparently after their fight, Brennan decided to go home to his place, so Emily's sort of just narrating what happened. And it's like, Emily has really tried to put lipstick on this pig, and sadly the pig keeps going to the mud because Brennan keeps looking for excuses as to why he and Emily won't work, and he keeps trying to sort of get himself portrayed in a light that will come across as positive, and sadly that ship has sailed. He hasn't done anything positive but sort of stand there and apply pressure on Emily's wound when she was bleeding. That's all he's done. The rest of it was performance. I said it in my review before that he came across as though he was performing to the viewers to say, oh, can you see I'm a good guy? I am still here with her. Can you see I'm a good guy? I am looking after her. And now that she's back to herself, he's decided to up and go to his own place. I don't like him. Oh my God. Chloe and Michael in the sex shop. Oh my God. I don't even know why the producers felt it was appropriate. Yes, I know Dr. Pia sort of encouraged them to sort of go to the sex shop and get some toys. But oh my God. Oh my God. That was a bit too much. But the good thing about Michael and Chloe is they're open to exploring. So they were happy. They were like kids in a candy store. They were touching everything. They were wanting to explore with everything. So that was good to see. That was really good to see. And, you know, they weren't prudes. So, hey, to each their own. I don't know whether it's my disdain for Claire or whether it's just the fact that, I don't know, something about her grates my nerves. And so the idea that she's telling Emily all this, misery likes company. Misery likes company. Because she knows, you know, Emily is not in the best of places. Emily is struggling because of the dinner that they had with Brennan and the fact that Brennan decided to go home. So for her to think that that's the best time for her to come up with this sort of gossip that she's heard through the grapevine, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And it's really frustrating, for lack of a better word, because she tells Emily that she's heard through the grapevine that Brennan and Cameron have been. So she tells Emily that she's heard through. So she tells Emily that she's heard through the grapevine that Cameron and Brennan have been going on double dates or have been planning to go on double dates. And it's like, why are you telling her that? What do you stand to gain? You can see she's broken. At least help build her up first before you break her down any further. Or maybe you're not the best person. I feel like because Emily's the one that asked them, her and Cameron, so what is the plan? What do you guys want to do? And Cameron said he wanted a divorce. Ever since, it's always come across as though Claire has been looking for something to cause the same amount of embarrassment or pain towards Emily, because everything she's done, nothing has shown me that she's a genuine friend. Nothing has shown me that she's a genuine friend or that she has Emily's best interest at heart, because I think she should have told someone like Becca. Yes, Becca's dealing with her own mess, but it would have been better coming from Becca or even from Lauren than it would have been coming from Claire, because I personally don't think Claire is doing this for the right reasons. I think she's doing it because misery likes company. She is miserable because Cameron has treated her some kind of way because he hasn't eaten whatever, or he hasn't been willing to play ball with whatever nonsense she wanted. So this is why she's decided to bring this up. So I am furious. I'm so furious. I don't get it. It's the audacity for me. It's the audacity. Emily is right to say that Brennan lacks accountability. He can't just say, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I shouldn't have been talking to Cameron about going on a double date. I should have, put in as much effort as possible in trying to make our relationship work. But no, the negativity is the reason why we are where we are. You were too negative, and this is why, besides I was joking. You were not joking, buddy. Somebody told Claire. Claire is not my favorite person, but something happened in order for her to hear about this. It's either you confided in her, because I remember a couple of weeks ago saying, I'm really not feeling the way sort of Brennan is looking at Claire and the way Claire is behaving around Brennan. I hope they're not doing a Zach and what was her name? That lady from that season, I've forgotten her name. I always forget people's names. And so for her to be the messenger and for Brennan to try and stand his ground and say, oh, you're trying to roast me on TV, you're trying to do this, okay, we'll meet on decision day. Good riddance, buddy. You yourself tarnished your own image. Emily did not do anything to help you tarnish your image. You expected Emily to be a party girl. You expected Emily to be the bad one in your relationship, and sadly, she didn't provide that for you, and so you had to look for ways to blame her. I think for him to say she's a negative person doesn't make sense. If he had said maybe she drinks too much alcohol, maybe he could have got away with that. But saying she's negative, nah, it doesn't carry weight. So poor thing. He's now stuck in a situation whereby he's tarnished his own image, and I can't wait to see what happens on decision day when Pastor Carl is there, because he's told her, I'll see you on decision day. And hey, we'll be waiting. So you have the ladies meet up, and I'm surprised Lauren didn't come. Maybe Lauren said, I'm done, I'm doing my healing, allow me to heal, I don't want anything else to do the show. And so I'm sad she didn't come, because I would have really loved to see her. So you have Emily tell the girls, about Brennan's comments and their last conversation. And even Becca said, you are one of my biggest pet peeve with you is you're too positive. Even at times I want you to be negative, you're still too positive. So what does it mean that you're very negative? Nobody can understand it. We all can't understand it. Sorry, Becca. We're still trying to understand what he means, because every time we've seen Emily, she's always had a smile. Every time he said whatever he said, she's tried to look for the positive in anything he does. So the idea that he would have the audacity to tell her that she's negative doesn't make sense, and the math ain't mathing for someone like me. You have Becca. Becca really likes Austin. I think Becca is going to say yes on decision day. Austin, I'm not sure, but Becca seems to really like him. She spoke about the fact that, they had this argument, and it seems all the guys had this idea of how they wanted their storyline to play out. And so when their storyline wasn't playing out that way, they got upset and they got in their feelings. I think someone like Cameron was really looking for love, it seems. And the reason why he left was because he felt that he was putting in effort, but Claire wasn't giving him anything. And I haven't heard Claire say anything to that effect. I know, I'm not a fan. I haven't heard her say anything positive about this man or try and portray this man in any positive light outside of his medical condition. So I don't know. So Austin and Becca speak to their friends, and Austin is more picking at the things that he doesn't like about Becca in regards, she said he's very combative, and it's like that was the one comment. She's played along for 8 weeks. She's really tried not to do anything or say anything that would upset you. She's tried to present you as a couple in the most positive of light. I remember earlier on saying that something is not right with this couple. It doesn't seem like they're being genuine. And now the truth has come to the surface. I think as soon as he found out she had endometriosis and she had all these other medical conditions, he tuned out, he checked out, but then decided to stay and present himself as the loving and supportive partner. That way he wouldn't get backlash for that. That's the impression that I get. Because apparently after he met his friends, his friend said you can't be forced to be something that you're not. And I didn't quite get what he meant by that comment. Anyway, Austin decided to go home, pack up his bags and leave. And it's like, oh, okay. This woman is still talking about you in a positive light. She still has hope. But if you want to leave, it is what it is. You then have Brennan come and pick up his clothes. I give Emily credit because he said, do you want to sit down and talk? And she said, no. Because I think he wanted to put a positive spin on his exit. That way it would come across in a positive light. And I think Emily was able to see it for what it was. That's why she refused to have a conversation, because he's always been worried about the optics. And I think he wanted to sort of leave things on a good note, and he didn't want to come across as this bad guy who said, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be alive. Because that's the last impression of him that we have. And so I give her credit for saying no. hugged him, and that was it. Becca then came back and found Austin gone, and it's sad. It's really sad that she's still speaking about him in a positive light, irregardless of the fact that he's checked out. I think she fell in love with him, or she fell in love with the idea of the man that he showed her, and so she can't sort of find a way out. So you have everyone sort of giving their summary of their, relationship and where they stand because it's decision day. So I guess people are worried about how they're going to come across when the decision is made or when the show airs. And so you have Brennan talking about, we could have ended things on a good note, but she didn't. And it's like, Brennan, please take responsibility for your own actions. After she called you out on the honeymoon, you decided to tune out, and whatever happened when you came home, whether your family didn't like her or whatever it was, you then moved on. And once you moved on, that was it. So please don't try and put all this on Emily's door and make it seem like Emily is the reason why you didn't work out as a couple. You need to sit down somewhere. I think the toxicity he saw growing up with his parents is something that is now stuck with him, and he thinks that's the way relationships should be run. I think Dr. Pia telling him he needs to go to therapy didn't help issues as well. I think he then felt backed into a corner. And so whatever his problems were, he was always looking for an excuse or for a way out or for a way not to take responsibility and blame it on someone else. And so am I surprised they're getting a divorce? No. I know Emily is already dreading. She says she's dreading that something negative is going to happen. And I'm like, yeah, she would feel that way. She would be justified in feeling that way just because of the way he's behaved throughout their marriage. He hasn't been the best of partners, so I'm not surprised that she feels some type of way and she's worried about what he's going to say or what he's going to do. I don't know. I hope the experts hold him to account and sort of call him out for everything he's done and not leave him to get away with murder just because he's quick with his words or he's able to sort of speak up for himself and come up with things that justify his actions. But anyway, I digress. And then you had Michael and Chloe. Oh my God, I don't even know why we needed to know about Michael and Chloe's sex life. I don't know why the producers are really hammering on it. The fact that they wanted to show us, Chloe and Michael getting the sex toy ready for Michael to use doesn't make sense. The fact that they showed us them playing with one another doesn't make sense. I'm happy they seem to be working for now. Apparently, they're going to continue on their journey, and I don't know what will happen to their decision day. But hey, it is what it is. Married at First Sight needs to do better. They need to do better in their casting, in the people that they're choosing to participate in these experiments. And they need to start pulling people out. They need to be like Married at First Sight UK and Australia. They need to have replacement couples in the wing ready to take over once people start playing out. So they mustn't film someone for 8 weeks. If someone plays up, they kick him out, they bring in the next couple. That's my opinion. And people are going to actually start behaving themselves because people are now taking advantage of the process and are just being jackasses on camera and just getting away with it. But anyway, I digress. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 18. Bye guys.